It's Ranconius, and joining me will be Invisi. And you guys are watching Oceanic Tournament's February feud. And we're into our next round game. We're into the semi-finals. This is DarkWolf versus the Scrubz. The Scrubz will be on the blue side once again, and DarkWolf will be playing on the purple side. And we're going through those bands thick and fast. Kazik Shyvana already taken out.
Okay. Sorry, who was blue and purple again? Hello?
Sorry, blue team will be the Scrubz, and purple team will be, DarkWolf.
I must admit, casting is hard when you're not allowed to see champions.
Now, guys, don't take it too harsh on Invisi. This is his first time. I'm breaking him in. Am I gentle enough?
And also, there's only room for 2 spectators in the lobby, so I'm currently doing champion select on with a pen and paper.
Righto, so Kazik Shyvana, followed by Renekton, Yasuo, then Kassadin, and we're waiting on our final ban.
Okay, thank you. Kassadin, yeah, so the Kassadin ban, very standard. Kaziks, yeah, all pretty standard bans. We haven't actually seen many top lane bans this tournament, so yeah, finally seeing some coming out in the Shyvana Renekton as well. So,
I think we saw a Shyvana ban here recently, but I think that's the only ban that we've seen overall.
Yes, I think you're right. We have seen a Shyvana ban. Yeah.
But now we're going to see that Renekton banned out, and obviously just that lane bully. But that does mean that Mondo is open with kind of no one on that top tier level to play up against him.
Yeah, very true. I mean, like, Mundo's not a very threatening top laner, so you can kind of play most things against him, but yeah, he'll still scale into late game and become a menace if he's not shut down, so yeah.
Anyway, first pick is coming out, and it will be XCC Wingman, who's currently locked in that Gragas. Probably both of these teams have thankfully ordered up for us this time, so big shout out to both our guys, DarkWolf and the Scrubz. But it's going to be that Gragas first pickup, and Xtronic is hovering over a few of the junglers. I mean, Vi banned out, and they're hovering over onto this Elise, and they're hovering on a Mundo right now, would kind of be the sensible picks right here.
Yeah, so with Vi gone, the Elise source, one of the very strong junglers. Honestly, Vi and Elise probably, I don't know, with the jungle now, it's kind of, you can pick many things with viability, but Vi and Elise have been strong for quite a long time. And particularly Elise has been pretty much a great jungler since she came out. So yeah, that would be a very strong pickup.
Absolutely, and it's going to be Elise Sin locked in after all that. But looks like it's definitely going to be that Mondo, and we've seen some absolute runaway Mondos today.
Yeah, so Mundo, like I said, very scary if he can get to late game, get a few tank items, and just basically become unkillable. And he just does a surprising amount of damage. People, like, his damage is just, you don't realize how much he has in his kit. His his masochism gives him so much attack damage that his auto attacks just hurt, and those cleavers just so much % health damage.
Absolutely. But now, over on the other side of the page, it's going to be Dusk is currently hovering on towards that. But interesting to see whether it is locked in or not. No current pick to go along with it, but early game pressure from the Lee Sin can maybe get that Mondo snowballing in the top lane, and then it's hard. It's so hard to kill him once he's got that 2-3 kills under his belt.
Yeah, so sorry, who was that again?
The Lee Sin and the Mondo coming out for DarkWolves if he comes up top to gank on that level 3. But the lock-ins we're currently seeing is going to be that Thresh and the Wukong.
Another Wukong. So I guess we'll wait and see if that's a jungle Wukong like we've seen, like you've seen most games, or if that's a lane Wukong like we actually saw last game. But yeah, Wukong a very strong pick. The AoE ultimate's just, oh my gosh, that Cyclone does so much damage and so much disruption. But bit of anti-synergy there with the Gragas. So I guess they'll just have to coordinate and make sure that, you know, that explosive cask doesn't get dropped right on top of a spinning Wukong, knocking everyone out of his ultimate.
Alright, now it's going to be a Lucian lock-in over for DarkWolf, and currently an Ahri hover. That gives them a huge amount of damage in those 2 champions.
Yeah, so I'm surprised we haven't actually seen much. We haven't seen any Lucian yet today, so Yeah, we've seen a lot of Sivir today, which is very, very odd. Like, normally you see the trio of AD carries being played, being Caitlyn, Lucian, and Jinx, and we haven't actually seen much of those today. So, yeah, Lucian getting locked in, being a pretty standard pickup and good damage all round.
Absolutely, but right now it's going to be, looks like a Caitlyn hover, and you just mentioned it, that trio of AD carries that is at the tippy top tier right now, Caitlyn versus Lucian, a matchup that is quite expected.
Yeah. So was that Ari locked in, sorry?
Ari was locked in, so far.
Ari was locked in. So received a few nerfs, but definitely still a viable champion in the right team comp. They've got a lot of mobility coming out on that team with Lee Sin just dashing around, Ari just dashing around, both of those champions with multiple dashes, and Lucian with his own dash and slow reset, and Mundo just running really fast with his ultimate because he goes where he pleases.
Absolutely, but it looks like it might be a support LeBlanc already having a Gragas locked in for the blue team, but it's going to be a Janna lock-in to go along with the rest of DarkWolf's comps. And the Scrubz, it certainly looks like... Oh, no, I see what they're doing. I see what they're doing here. We're going to have a jungle Gragas, we're going to have a top lane Wukong, support Thresh, and mid lane LeBlanc. They had me totally going there.
Oh. So, yeah, okay.
But having said that, in that top lane, Wukong is a lot more of a kill threat on towards the Mundo, so it's a lot more safer lane for that Wukong to potentially go in and get farmed.
Yeah, so, like you said, so Gragas, Thresh, Wukong, LeBlanc, Caitlyn is the lineup?
Yeah, Wukong top lane, Gragas into the jungle, LeBlanc in that mid lane, Caitlyn is going to be in that 80 carry slot, and Lifehacks again on that Thresh. He's played 2 games straight now.
Okay. That's intriguing. We have seen a lot more jungle Gragas recently. It's been creeping its way into solo queue. Even the high-level solo queue, you do see quite a lot of jungle Gragas. So, yeah, not a troll pick anymore.
Absolutely. And how does it do against this jungle Lee Sin? Will he be looking to duel, or will he be looking to dodge maybe the Sonic Wave combo with the Body Slam and just get out of there?
Well, they're both relatively mobile, with Gragas with his Body Slam and Lee Sin with just his being Lee Sin is just very, very mobile. Yeah, it'll depend on whether or not Gragas can actually surprisingly duel quite well with his Drunken Rage attack damage bonus and damage reduction. His auto attacks actually hurt quite a bit, and with his if he does manage to land a barrel, the attack speed slow will help quite well in a duel. So he won't be as vulnerable to counter jungling as you might expect from most AP champions.
But Lee Sin's a little bit of an AD cast. Interesting you mentioned the damage reduction on that, and that's a large part of how he gets through the jungle.
Yeah, so that, interestingly enough, Gragas was actually, I believe when he came out, it was several years ago, and I don't think I was playing at the time, but he was originally designed as a tank, and people suddenly realized his AP ratios were really high and built him AP. So, yeah, Riot weren't actually imagining he'd be an AP champion when they released him. I believe a similar thing also happened to Kassadin, so
There you go.
Interesting how people ended up building AP on champions that weren't originally envisioned for that role. So
That's
yeah.
okay. I play tank Cogmore. just total trolls. I do it all the time. Funniest thing. The team goes, yeah, that'll be an 80 carry. No, tank. Double tank bot lane.
So what was the final pickup on DarkWolf's side? Sorry?
It was the Janna to go in, actually. So
the Janna.
let's run down the comp of DarkWolf. We've got that Mundo in the top lane. We're going to have that Lee Sin in the jungle. Ari in the mid lane. Gorath is going to be playing that Lucian 80 carry, as well as Low Aggression will be playing the Janna support. And a very interesting comp here.
Yeah, so the first thing that springs to my mind when I see that comp is mobility. Just like you've got Ari with 3 dashes when her ultimate's up. You've got Lee Sin with dashes for days. You've got Lucian has a dash. Mundo runs really fast, and of course Janna with the Janna passive. Even though that it has been nerfed significantly, that it's now no longer global, it still gives everyone a pretty decent movement speed buff when they're around her. So that team going to be quite mobile, but the Scrubs also going to be able to keep up with that. You know, everyone actually having a dash or some sort of dash on their team as well, with the and especially LeBlanc with the double distortion if she uses her mimic on that. So
interesting to see how these fights go down. And you mentioned it. The Jungler passive was nerfed from being global, but I got a buff to those numbers and just became a lot more local, so a bit more effective in those team fights.
well, a little bit. So I've heard complaints that the range is just too short. So, you know, even in a team fight, if the team fight's not extremely clumped, you'll have people just getting out of range of the passive. So, yeah, I wouldn't quite go far as to say you have to be a bit careful there because, you know, if you go out of range of Janna's passive, it's not really a big deal. But yeah, it's just not as reliable, and it is slightly more powerful when you're next to her, but yeah, it's just not as reliable and just generally less powerful. Like, having a global passive is really, really strong, and they're being removed for a reason.
Absolutely. And right now, what's going on? I was just checking out the Masters actually over on towards this Gragas, and it's AP. He's going to be playing an AP Gragas rather than, you mentioned, like that tank was how he was released. And that I feel like that's the way he's been played in the LCS for for the Ultimate.
Generally, you see even Jungle Gragas building AP, so especially with the recent buff to the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, able to provide up to 80 ability power for a 2,000 gold item is very, very cost effective once you can get that stacked up. So, yeah, Gragas definitely able to bring a lot of damage even from the jungle. I'd imagine him going for the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith straight into something like a Death Cap or some other high damage item and just going straight damage.
It's interesting enough, this comp actually, they've got like a mix between poke between Caitlyn and Gragas, and then the hard engage from the cask, Wukong, LeBlanc, and Thresh.
Yeah, so they've got a reasonable amount of poke and a lot of wave clear actually with the Gragas Caitlyn in particular, and also the LeBlanc distortion if it's needed.
Absolutely,
but we are into game now, so.
Interesting to see where this level 1 comes out. I mean, they do have the Thresh, and the Thresh is kind of like that level 1 champion right now, maybe with the exception of Blitzcrank, and you can do so much with him. But do you expect any level 1, especially against the Lee Sin jungle?
Possibly, but I'd imagine Gragas really just wants to get his buffs secure as possible because, you know, Gragas probably going to struggle without a blue buff, does use quite a bit of mana when clearing the camps. He, I'm not sure what spell Jungle Gragas usually starts with, whether he starts for that Drunken Rage for the attack damage buff and damage reduction, or the barrel for the AoE damage and attack speed slow. But actually, looking at Gragas now, he has already skilled in his Body Slam, which is, I would imagine, the least optimal spell for clearing, so I'm not sure what his intention is there.
Jungle Gragas, you're supposed to max it.
The Body Slam?
Yeah. Jungle Gragas, you're not actually supposed to play AP from what I was reading. You're supposed to play it more of a tank, more AD, than actually AP, and you don't even put a point into the barrel roll until you have to. Right,
well, the Jungle Gragases I've been seeing tend to just build full AP anyway, with the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith into something like a Death Cap, and I think they still max that barrel roll for the attack speed debuff usually, but yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see what's happening, because that's an interesting level 1 skill. I would have picked either of the other two, because I thought they'd give better clear, but we do have buffs almost spawning, so I guess we'll see what's happening.
Absolutely, we'll find out. We'll have to keep an eye onto the leveling from Duskish, and certainly I thought it was the LCS that they were playing more AD tank, but I think lower than that it's always been an AP jungle defense.
Yeah, possibly. I must admit I haven't really kept up with the LCS. I'm just going off what I've seen. I've seen a lot of high-level solo queue players playing AP jungle Gragas. But interestingly, Wukong has actually put his trinket down at the blue buff to make sure that wasn't invaded, so just Gragas going to be happy about that, just to make sure that blue buff gets secured.
Indeed, he seems to have gotten away from the buff camp a little bit faster than his opponent. And he has picked up the barrel roll at level 2. He's going to have like no mana to clear that the blue buff though.
How much mana is he sitting on now? He's got enough for one more spell, so yeah, that you're gonna have some real trouble there. So yeah, I don't know. I must admit I'm not a Gragas player, so I'm not exactly sure of how he plays. I only really know how to play against him.
Wukong going hard in on Mundo at the moment. He's doing a lot of damage and forces the flash out of Mundo, but also he uses his own Ignite. Mundo not running a teleport this game. He's running the Ignite looking for some kill pressure. So maybe Lee Sin is coming up this way.
Potentially, so both junglers are now at their second buffs, just clearing them, and Lee Sin looking to head towards the top lane. But Thresh going, oh no, he just backs off.
There is both junglers heading towards this top side, but one of them has a distinct health advantage.
Yeah, so Gragas with the health disadvantage.
Oh, but there it is, the Sonic Wave, and forces the flash out of Dirkish. He is getting slow though. Extronic is going to get wrapped on by this LeBlanc, but Ari is also following down Wukong. There is going to be a 3-man wrap, direct focus on the Lee Sin. Oh, the dashes, they switch places! No way, absolute perfect timing there for Lee Sin. But Ari's now the focus. She gets the ethereal chains locked up on towards her, and as much damage as they can spit out the Ignite as well. Body slam and the barrel roll will miss. Ari takes a bunch of damage. She's now out of mana, and she won't be doing anything for the rest of this fight.
Yeah, so interesting plays there, and a couple of people getting out on a bit low health. Ari quite low, and Duskish just managing to escape from Lee Sin. So. And top lane just resetting, going back straight into the lane. No time to recall. Got that Doran's shield regen coming in. So Gragas looking for potentially something in the bot lane, but he is walking straight into a ward. So
absolutely, they know he's right there. Will anything happen? We're about to find out. It'll require a significant thresh hook, I have to say.
Yeah, and Lee Sin also coming down for a potential counter gank. So
interesting to see what's
could be a 3v3 in the bot lane.
Right about to happen. They know that Gragas is there. They plant the ward again, make sure they spot him out. He hasn't recalled there without them knowing, so nothing going to go on. Lee Sin's still hiding out of view, though. He wants something to happen right now.
Nah, he's just going to back off. He was basically there for the counter gank, but yeah, with Gragas not there, there's not really anything happening. He can't really make a play from that angle, to be honest. Especially not without his ultimate. So. But he is coming back in so...
Oh, Life Hacks! What's about to go on? The knockup does get on towards Life Hacks. A ton of damage. He just flashes away straight away. He doesn't even want to participate in that one. And exhausts out on towards Extronic. And he's get out of there. But, a couple of summoners burn right there for Thresh.
Yeah, both summoners burnt on Thresh. So if he can come back and capitalize on that, then, you know, definitely time well spent. But Wukong very low in this top lane. Just getting harassed down by those cleavers.
Mundo not giving him any breathing room, that is for sure. But Lee Sin's going to be heading towards this mid lane. Ari getting on towards that 6 point, and she could have a potent gank right about to go down. Never mind, Gragas
is pings going down in bot lane.
They want Caitlyn, the focus on there. She dodges out with everything. The Sonic Wave does find her. Surely she'll be forced to flash here in a second if she's not careful. Takes a ton of damage. She is now out of mana, and yes, there's the flash. She's going to get away. Gragas body slam does miss because Lee Sin dashed away, but it was a nice death sentence to come in from Thresh.
Yeah, and Thresh actually maxing that death sentence now, I just noticed. So,
hooks for days.
Yeah, we'll see if he actually goes the full way and puts 5 points into it at level 9, but yeah, Thresh is kind of an interesting champion. You can kind of have the choice of what you max depending on what you want to do. You've got the flay for the damage, the death sentence for the cooldown, and the shield for, well, the shield, so...
In time in this
Lee Sin just doing some counter jungling, taking away those wraiths from Gragas.
Yeah, and Gragas now level 3 whilst Lee Sin is that level 4, and the blue buff having timed out on the Gragas is quite important.
Yeah, but he does have that Spirit Stone now, so he will have some form of mana regen.
Oh, he's going with the barrel roll max as well.
Right, so yeah, that does give the AoE damage, and also the attack speed debuff is actually very important for his jungle clear. It significantly lowers the damage of the monsters, so... but
in the meantime, the ultimate's going to come out from that Mundo. The Cyclone forced out a Wingman as well. If he eats another cleaver, he might go down. What's it going to do? Yeah, there it is! Mundo picks up the first blood, and he is already scaling.
Yeah, so Wukong... Yeah, I guess that was just kind of a straight up brawl, and Mundo just having more stats and being able to take more hits and deal out more damage.
Ari lands a nice charm in the mid lane. Dornish is going to be looking for that fight, but Ari's now comes out with the Spirit Fire. He's going to flash back in the bush. That's the clone, unfortunately, Ari. You can try and kill that one, but that's not the one you're going to get to kill.
Yeah.
There you go. Things you can do. Really nice, Duke.
So,
Oh, Gragas! Wow! Was that double golems? Did he clear them? No, he didn't clear them. No, he didn't clear them. Was that red buff?
Interestingly, Lee Sin took his own blue buff, so that may have been a result of the skirmish that was happening between Ari and LeBlanc, and he just kind of had to finish up the buff and make his way to mid lane quickly, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I assume that's what happened.
Dornish, a little aware that that blue buff might be taken away, throws the chains over the wall and knows that it's not being taken right now, so they're going to be secure in that one.
Yeah, so it's a little smart play from LeBlanc, just making sure her buff is still there and making sure if Lee Sin was there, she'd be able to catch him in her jungle, so yeah, good play on her part. Interestingly, LeBlanc has actually picked up a Chalice of Harmony, so usually you see LeBlanc going for straight damage, getting, a couple of Doran's rings and then just rushing for that Deathfire Grasp as soon as possible, which it looks like Ari is doing. I would have picked Ari as the champion of the two more likely to pick up a Chalice of Harmony, so yeah, interesting choice there. More sustain in terms of mana management, but definitely less burst potential, which is usually what LeBlanc is after.
And right now, aware that this blue buff is available, Lee Sin's come down towards it, but there are going to be three members looking to peel away. LeBlanc has been back and forth between that mid lane for a while, and Wukong's now come down as well, engaging on
and Mundo's quite slow to this fight as well.
Yeah, but Lee Sin has used that dash to get over the wall. They're trying to do as much damage. The sadism has now been popped. Lee Sin is trying to do as much damage as he can, but Ari and LeBlanc are fighting as well. Ari is losing that one out significantly, but they finally managed to pick up Lee Sin. Mundo is still trying to chase on towards Duskish. He manages to juke him around in the bush, but it's now going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but Wukong is still looking to pick up this Ari up towards the top lane. He has the double buffs. Can he get back on there? Is the cooldown? There it is. 0 seconds. Is he going to get it? There it is. He finally does manage to pick it up, but that means that there's a Mundo behind him with a red buff. The top laners both get the buffs. The Cyclone goes off, manages to get the knock up on towards him, and they're trying to do as much damage. Mundo doesn't actually have the ultimate here. Wingman is in trouble, and he's going to finally go down, and Mundo on an absolute killing spree and with double buffs.
Yeah, that Cyclone a bit preemptive there, so misses quite a lot of the damage that he could have potentially got onto Mundo, and Mundo just going where he pleases at this point. 3-0. He's probably gonna, let me check his goal. Yeah, he's gonna be able to pick up that Sunfire Cape when he goes back. So Sunfire Cape this early in the game he'll be very, very happy about that. A significant CS advantage over Wukong as well.
And Lee Sin has come down into this bot lane unbeknownst to their opponents, so we could be about to see a gank going down in this bot lane.
Yeah, it looks like Janna might be positioning herself for a potential safeguard initiate, so
if this goes down, this will also spell the dragon, so that's what this is about to be all about. Oh, the Death Sentence is going to go on towards Janna, so now Lee Sin has revealed himself, and the Flash Monsoon means that, oh my god, the dodges! Everything they needed to go on right there. The great Flash to come out of Piggy of Chaos means that they can't get the double disposition.
Yeah, so good bait from Janna there, but Thresh disengaged really strong in the managing to escape there with the flashes. But Ari coming in for the tower dive.
Yeah, and here it comes. Already the culling has come out, which means that Lee Sin is in there, and he's trying to do as much damage as possible. They finally get Caitlyn. They manage to get Thresh as well, and everyone gets out. You're going to have to be really careful, though, because LeBlanc is now here. Gragas is going to roam down as well, but it looks like a free 2 for her.
Yeah, very, very well coordinated on their side. A good bait to lead things off.
Oh, but the damage now back on towards Ari is immense. The shield comes out. Can Gragas get on towards her? No, he can't. Explosive Cast was available, but not quite in the right position to use that one.
Yeah. Like I said, a very well coordinated play, just all around from DarkWolf there. Good disengage from Caitlyn and Thresh, but once their summoner spells were down, they were vulnerable to the tower dive, and just it kind of came before the rest of their team was ready to back them up.
Wukong's a long way from safety in that top lane, though. Forces out the Cyclone, does Mundo, so unfortunately he's not going to have that one to disengage, and Mundo's still going to have all that regeneration from his ultimate.
Yeah, and the double buffs, which have... How long do they have left? They've got a few seconds left. They'll time out pretty soon, but oh wow.
He's going to look to dive on towards him, and that was a total mistake. Mondo just turned it straight back around to him with the ultimate. Wukong not trading as effectively as he thought.
Yeah, no. Potentially looking to just clear the wave. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, he does go down, and we do have LeBlanc disconnecting and a pause coming out.
Absolutely. So in the meantime, let's start discussing some of these items. 3k ahead right now for DarkWolf, and where's that all gone?
Well, we can have a look at the individual gold, and we see 1.5k lead for Mundo is the really significant point, and that's, as we can see, that's equated into a Sunfire Cape as opposed to just a Brutalizer and a Ruby Crystal. So, yeah, Mundo very, very far ahead at this point. And also a decent CS in the bot lane for Lucian. That's equated to about a 700 gold lead. So that's, at the moment, that's a bloodthirster for Lucian, and Caitlyn just sitting on the BF sword and longsword.
And exactly. That means he can start stacking that on him, guys, and they can get a lot closer to doing that dragon.
Lee Sin has already picked up his Spirit of the Lizard Elder, so he's going to get that gold passive ticking up already. He's already got 35 gold from that, whereas Gragas just sitting on the Spirit Stone and Amplifying Tome will pick up that Spirit of the Spectral Wraith anytime soon. He, I believe he has just enough money to complete it, or maybe almost enough, so he'll definitely get that the next time he goes back. Yeah, as I touched on before, LeBlanc with the going for the Athene's Unholy Grail, very not what's usually picked up, but you know, it's not unviable. It's just it does a different thing, and most LeBlancs don't want what Athene's gives. They want what Deathfire Grasp gives. But,
gives a different power spike ratio, I guess. Is
yeah, so yeah, Deathfire Grasp is more about making plays, and kind of when you're playing LeBlanc, making plays is usually what you're about. But as we do get back into the game now, so
Alright, so resume is going to be into another pause because I think Lucian's having some problems right now as well.
Right. So yeah, interestingly enough though, Thresh has already gone for his Talisman of Ascension, already picked that up. That's going to be actually quite a big pickup.
Oh no! Oh no!
What's happened?
Nothing. Duskish is going in with the jokes again. Unfortunately, good thing for you guys, you can't see the chat. They are dreadful.
Okay, let's just ignore them, shall we?
Yeah, you guys don't want to see some of these jokes. They're terribly what's the word?
Inappropriate?
No, it's not even appropriate. They're more like,
Gross.
no, they're not gross either.
I said morose.
Morose? Right, yeah, morose.
But yeah, anyway, so Thresh, having already picked up that Talisman of Ascension compared to Janna's Nomad's Medallion and Sightstone, a little bit more gold efficient on Janna's side, but that Talisman of Ascension, the movement speed active, just it provides so much threat. It makes you so fast. It's good for both engaging and disengaging. He'll definitely be able to make plays with that.
Absolutely, but right now Mondo picks up the turret. In the meantime though, Janna has that Sightstone. She's saving money on the wards at the very least.
Yeah, and at least him waiting for a gank in the spot lane potentially. But Mundo going where he pleases. Does he please to go into the jungle? No, he does not. He just backs out. But Lee Sin just taking his own blue buff again, which is an interesting choice. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure I'm certain that that's an intentional team decision, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure as to the reasoning. But Mundo just doing what he pleases right now, doing some counter jungling.
I have a feeling it's more about the cooldown onto that Dragon's Rage, but there's a lot of damage right now, and immediately Thresh is taken out with the culling, the execute damage from the Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, and now, immediately upon picking up that blue buff, he has that CDR onto Dragon's Rage.
Yeah, but yeah, good time. Oh, Charm missing in the mid lane, but
oh no, that means doesn't matter because LeBlanc is dead. The Ignite taken out. Yes, it's going to be a trade. That one turret shot more than enough. But that means the Dragon absolutely not be contested.
managing to stay alive just long enough to get those ethereal chains to snare Ari under the tower, and just the tower shots and the ignite managing to finish off the kill. But DarkWolf do pick up that dragon, and Mundo just being such a menace in this top lane. He's now almost double the CS of Wingman.
Something's gonna have to happen up there sometime soon, or else that lane is hugely lost. They're gonna have a Wukong that can't do anything at all.
Well, he'll still be useful for his ultimate in team fights. It'll still knock everyone up, but it just won't have the punch behind it that it usually should.
Right now, there's going to be a gank in the top lane. Cyclone goes down and towards Mundo, and the Ignite as well to stop all that regen. Can they do the damage? Finally, Dornish gets that shut down on towards Mundo. He's going to be forced to go base, but then again, he's going to go base and pick up all these items.
Yeah, so Spectre's Cal now. How much does he have left? None left. So, yeah, going to go for that Spirit Visage next. Despite the nerfs, it is still a very, very strong item and a lot of synergy with Dr. Mundo. Just getting so much more health from that ultimate.
Right now, though, Duskish is struggling to deal with this Ahri pushing in the mid lane. Manages to clear out that creep wave finally, and she won't be able to take that one down right now. But, I don't know what's about to happen on this map. There's two people up in this top lane.
Lee Sin has also picked up Boots of Mobility and is trying to defend up that top tower, but it will go down.
Yeah. So that's a turret advantage. Maybe Ahri will get this one back in the mid lane. They have to move pretty quickly to get here. But in the meantime, Lee Sin maybe wanting to make a play against it. He is moving so quick around that map.
Yeah, those Boots of Mobility really are about making plays, so he's going to want to do that. But potentially a meeting in this around this mid lane.
Sonic Wave does land on towards Duskish. Does that signal the start of the play? No, it's going to mean that Orb of Deception to come out of Ahri.
Mundo is coming down though, and the blue side blue buff has in fact respawned and has just been warded by Mundo, so I'd imagine this is going to be contested.
Oh, for sure. There is two members wrapping around very quickly right now. Gragas is being forced directly away from this one. He sniffed that one out. Wants to get back in there and try and do something, but Gorsh is zoning so hardcore. And this means another blue buff right here for Lee Sin.
Well, it hasn't actually been taken yet. Let's... Yeah. Yes, he will pick that up. But, Caitlyn very low in this bot lane, taking a lot of harass.
And she's got no mana as well, so there'll be no Piltover Peacemakers coming out to clear the wave. She's in a little bit of trouble. Somebody will have to come down here and stop this going on.
Also hasn't had the opportunity to pick up the Vampiric Scepter yet, so no lifesteal to regen, but a fight in the mid lane.
Absolutely. No. Oh, you called it, and then I got excited. Now I'm less excited, but there's going to be a dive in the bot lane. Lord Aggression takes too much turret damage, and he manages to get out. Caitlyn will finally go down as well, but manages to pick up the kill. Goat gets hooked back into the turret, but he's not tanking it. Lee Sin dashes in, and now he's the one to be tanking the turret. They're trying to turn it back around, but there will be no mana on the side of Goat, and Ahri is now down here as well. Could we see a turret dive on towards Thresh? Thresh throws out the Death Sentence, doesn't find anyone, but there it is, the turret dive, and he's gone down. And Ahri is now 2-2-2.
And Gragas coming around the back though.
Could be looking for something to go on.
He might just be looking for the wave clear though, but that tower is gone.
Oh, that charm, if that had landed, that would have been the end.
That would have been a lot of pain coming down after that charm. But Mundo chasing down LeBlanc.
He does not care.
No, he does not care. He's got 4 and 1.
He's chasing towards LeBlanc, and there comes the ultimate flash, and the Ignite will take her out as well. So there you go. Mundo takes out.
Just being a really big problem and just running away with this game at the moment. So yeah, they're really going to have their work cut out for them if they want to stop him.
Absolutely. Right now, it's going to be a huge push towards this mid lane. No one's going to be here to defend against it, and that is surely going to be another turret right now for DarkWolf.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, turret was really, really low, so it goes down without too much trouble.
Uh-oh, Gragas, you're in the wrong spot. You may get the pink ward, but...
He does have his body slam up, so he will be able to get out.
But at least snapping around as well. Flash is also coming out, and a lot of damage on towards him. They'll probably try and get this kill. Don't have a bit of Mundo without trying to burn any ultimates.
So he probably would have had to flash over to the golems there if he wanted to live, but just flashes to dodge the Sonic Wave, and unfortunately the brush he flashed into was indeed warded, so does get chased down there. The Thresh getting caught out.
Absolutely takes a bunch of damage right now from Lucian. Goal Aggression's going to flash in on after him, and he takes a huge portion of his HP bar and throws the box out, but nobody will be hooked into that one.
Unfortunate for him there. But LeBlanc and Wukong potentially going to find Ahri.
Absolutely. Ahri is in this wrong portion of the jungle at the wrong time. Drops a ward over in towards that red buff. You think they might want to go for a steal here as soon as Lee Sen gets here?
I'd imagine so. Oh, but Ahri gets hooked.
Ahri does get hooked, and she's in a lot of trouble! A world of trouble, and so much trouble that somebody sent her to jail. That was a bad pun, because Caitlyn killed her.
Oh. I didn't even pick up on that.
Oh. I'm oh, sad times. Sad times. But it's going to be happy times in the gold department soon, with Dragon respawning in 10 seconds.
Yeah, so, looks like a fight coming around there. We've got both teams looking to posture around there and make sure they have control of the area, but looks like we're just going to transfer the action into mid lane.
Absolutely. It's going to become a poke war for the next few seconds or so until they find that pick. The ability to go on it. Lee Sin wants to go for this dragon. They have the area warded. The teams know that it's available for sure.
And Scrubz have just backed off, and they now realize that the dragon's being taken, but they're kind of too far away to do anything about it, so that will be a dragon picked up for DarkWolf. And DarkWolf now with a commanding lead in this game.
Absolutely. That lead is snowballed out to 8k at 20 minutes. And let's roll through some of the items that means in the gold department.
So, LeBlanc has picked up, both mid laners have finished their major core items. LeBlanc going for the Athene's Unholy Grail, whereas Ahri going for the Deathfire Grasp. Like I said, I'm surprised with that. But Wukong now picking up the Tiamat, and Mundo with his Spirit Visage. Wukong deciding not to finish the Black Cleaver and go straight for the Tiamat. I don't know whether he'll finish the Ravenous Hydra or the Black Cleaver first. We'll just have to wait and see. Both junglers have had their spirit items ticking away for a while now, and Lee Sin has also picked up his Sightstone, but oh, Charm just missing onto Gragas. Mundo landing a couple of cleavers, and
that would have signaled destruction, but Dornish takes way too much damage, and Lee Sin goes deep. They're going to stun him up. Manages to flash out and over the wall, but they did kill LeBlanc, and this is trouble right now. They're diving so deep in their enemy's face, but it doesn't matter. Mundo has the items to deal with it. Picks up a double kill in underneath the inhibitor tower.
Mundo really doesn't care right now. He just goes where he pleases, and he's basically full health again. He's just, oh my gosh, that 8-1-1, that Mundo goes where he pleases. This is why Mundo is strong.
And really, right now, you need a Blade of the Ruin King carry to deal with him, but you got a Caitlyn on your team.
Yeah, well, Caitlyn just sitting on the Bloodthirster and Cloak of Agility isn't going to be doing too much to that Mundo. She really needs some items if she wants to put a dent in that big doctor.
Blue Buff Steel is going to be on the offering right now. They're trying to donate this one over towards Ahri. She does manage to pick that one up. Uno's now going to get stunned out. Gets the Death Sentence on towards him as well. Everyone's diving on towards him. He's ignited, so there'll be no regeneration from him. Oh, the Monsoon almost saves him. Caitlyn gets the shutdown gold, and that'll be important. That's going to be a double kill. Ace in the hole rolls through. Oh, Life Hacks, you haven't got much of a health bar. They're looking at him. Lucian comes through with the culling. Lee Sin manages to throw him over the wall. Triple kill now for Caitlyn. If she can get on towards that Lucian as well, might be a quadra kill. But in the meantime, Ahri picks up Wukong as compensation.
Yeah, and look at the health bars on the side of Scrubz. Just so low, but playing well enough to just get out. But Ahri potentially looking for more.
She has Spirit Rush available. She's looking over towards Thresh. Does a bunch of damage. Manages to get the... Oh, but the turnaround! The Death Sentence locks her in place even after Thresh dies. Important one to remember, guys. If you Death Sentence and then you die, it still stays for the full channel.
Yeah, so the Death Sentence stun there, followed up with the LeBlanc Silence, just Ahri not having her used her Foxfire and Spirit Rush, and not being able to use the Orb of Deception due to that crowd control, but has now picked up a Rabadon's Death Cap, so that's one scary Ahri.
Caitlyn's going on directly towards an Infinity Edge more than anything else. And that is, again, another set of item pickups that we saw from Piggy of Chaos last game.
Yeah, so I must admit I'm not exactly sure why he he decides to do this. I would have to ask him. So,
Let's
yeah,
get some numbers going.
I don't know. I feel like from a numbers perspective, it's probably not optimal, but I'm sure there's a reason behind it because it's not something you just do. But Lucian now with the Trinity Force, so and yeah, definitely ahead of Caitlyn, but she will pick up that Infinity Edge pretty soon.
Oh my god, LeBlanc right now gets pushed a long way out of position. She gets double kicked away. Can she get over the wall? She does get over the wall. Lee Sin dashes to a ward, but she's only going to run into Mundo. Oh,
wow.
She goes in the complete opposite direction. They've all realized and they're heading for it. That's the clone. That's not the real one. They all realize that. The Cullen comes out and over the wall. Lee Sin's trying to get on towards her, but she's still going. The Jukes. Oh my god. Well played, LeBlanc.
She actually reactivated her W during the stealth of her passive. And then her so LeBlanc's passive it stealths her for I believe 1 second, and then when she reappears, she gains a clone. So she reactivated her W to return to her distortion during the stealth, and then appeared with her clone.
That's only a half a second window. Wow.
Yeah, that was an amazing juke. I was very, very impressed.
We could see everything through the fog of war, and I don't think either of us knew exactly what had happened straight away.
Yeah, no,
Sin's gonna get the Sonic Wave combo. He's diving deep, takes a bunch of damage right now, but it's all on towards Wingman. He forces to use the Cyclone, but it's not gonna be enough. Caragis goes down to the back line as well. LeBlanc gets kicked out of the way, and is she gonna go down? Yeah, Lucian picks her up. And that is only Thresh that's alive. He goes down as well, and there's an ace. Mundo is 12-2-2.
Mundo goes where he pleases. I've said it way too many times this game for it to still be funny, but it's just gonna be true. And there's the surrender vote.
At 15k behind, you can kind of sympathize with them.
Yeah, with it, like, they just could not go through the Mundo. He was just way too fed, and the rest of the team wasn't particularly behind either. So, yeah, GG, well played.